Hello guys. Hello guys. Again, また356日連続。of course, もちろん決して止まらない。And we just keep going. But before, so today we're doing grammar with Tokiny Andy. But before we start, I just want to watch this little video.
いつになったら曲書けんだよ。
ごめん。
でも全然音楽理論通りに書けなくて。
言い訳はいいから。文化祭間に合わないじゃん。
そんなこと言ったって。
そんなこと言ったって。
音楽のロジックに当てはまんないんだよ。
ないんだよ。なあ。やべえ。
あいつ学校一の我。高砂だ。
高砂だ。Don't know any of this.
お前さっきからうじゃうじゃうるせえんだよ。
すいません。
音楽はな。頭で考えるもんじゃねえんだよ。
頭で考えるじゃねえんだよ。これがダメ。
ここだよ。
ここだよ。
魂で書けよ。
魂で書けよ。
魂。
魂？
本物のロックを見してやるよ。やるよ。
やるよ。
え？
Do it。
音。楽しめよ。
楽しめよ。おう。Okay, that was a little nice video. I didn't understand anything, but it was a little bit fun. But let's just continue with these stories. We finished Reberu Starter. Today. And we go to Reberu Zero or Reberu Rei. 大変だね。いい天気だな。Nice weather. 自転車で買い物に行きます。自転車で買い物に行きます。I go shopping by bicycle. 桜が綺麗です。桜 is beautiful. 自転車を置きます。I place the 自転車。I park. 綺麗だな。桜を見ます。Caps, how is it going? こんにちは、bro. 綺麗だな。桜を見ます。Look at the 桜。自転車がありません。The 自転車 is missing. 大変です。Troublesome. 自転車はどこ？ Where's the 自転車？あまりさん。おまわりさん。Police. 助けて。Help me. And that's it. Nice little story there. Okay, last one from Reberu Starter. 青い blue. みんな青いです。Everything is blue. 青い空、青い海。Blue sky, blue sea. 今日は何？今日は素晴らしいですね。Cops. 今日は青い車、blue car. 青い自転車、blue bicycle. 青い傘、blue umbrella. 青いゴミ箱。trash。blue trash。これも青リンゴ blue apple? No, that's 緑リンゴ。青い野菜。No, that's 緑野菜。信号、青、OK、青信号。みんな青いです。Everything is blue. That's it. Yeah, but why 青い野菜 No. 青い緑これも青リンゴ I don't know. But done with this story as well. We finally finished レベルスタート。You should just do speaking streams every day. Bro, no, I'm not going to do that. レベルスターター and レベル0、レベル0。300, yeah, bro. Lamb tweet. 356日。連続。キツネと鶴。イソップものがたりより。I have no idea what that means. Okay, we do this tomorrow, okay? So we start level 0. Bro, level 0 is harder. It's very much harder than I thought. I don't know what any of this means. But anyways, let's just do some 日本語コンテッペ。Bro, it's a schedule. We need to follow the schedule. Caps.
日本語学習者の
Need to
皆
have
さんを
everything.
いつも応援するポッドキャスト。今日は日本語の勉強は好きですかについて。はい、皆さん。こんにちは。日本語コンテッペイですね。日本語コンテッペイの時間ですね。皆さん元気ですか？今、東京は、今、日本は昼の11時半です。11時半。
It's 11 o'clock in the after or in the morning basically, but in the noon. So 11 o'clock is noon, is not morning.
1時30分ですね。11時30分のことです。皆さんは今何時ですか？朝ですか？昼ですか？それとも夜ですか？
昼ぐらい昼5 or 昼5時ぐらいですね。
今日は
午後
日本語の勉強は好きですか？について話してみたいと思います。日本語の勉強は皆さん好きですか？
You should just start speaking. Bro, I spoke a lot. I spoke a lot of Japanese. It was so much fun.
それとも好きじゃないですか？
We spoke a lot of Japanese, bro.
勉強好きですか？それとも好きじゃないですか？好きじゃないですか？皆さん好きですか？してみたいと思います。日本語の勉強は皆さん好きですか？
皆さん好きですか？
日本語の勉強好きですか？
はい、好きです。
それとも
好
きじゃない
好きじゃないですか？
ね、嫌いっていうことですね。好きじゃない。
いうことですね。
何が好きですか？
何が好きですか？
漢字好きですか？漢字は好きですか？
はい、漢字好きです。漢字好きですね。Not enough speaking. Bro, it's enough. I know, it's enough.
漢字は嫌いですか？
I'm going to speak tomorrow as well.
ね、まあ漢字はちょっと難しいですよね。
難しいですよね。
カタカナは好きですか？
カタカナが好きです。
カタカナ嫌いですか？
嫌いです。
ちょっと難しいですね。
No, I cannot.
わかりにくいですね。
I can't type. I can't type with keyboard.
難しいですね。わかりにくいですね。好きですか？ね。カタカナ、それとも嫌いですか？ね。カタカナもちょっと 難しいですね。
難しいですね。
わかりにくいですね。
わかりにくいです。
すごくわかりにくい。
すごくわかりにくい。
アーノルド・シュワルツェネッガーとかね。
With my hands, no, I told you no, bro. I told you no, I cannot write.
アーノルド・シュワルツェネッガー。わかりますか？ターミネーター。ね。ターミネーター。
ターミネーター。
シュワちゃん。ね、日本では。
日本語。
アーノルド・シュワルツェネッガーはシュワちゃんって言いますね。カタカナ難しいですね。
カタカナ難しいですね。
アーノルド・シュワルツェネッガーとかね。難しい。カタカナ難しいですね。
カタカナ難しい。
カタカナは好きですか？
No。カタカナは嫌いです。カタカナ嫌いです。
日本語の勉強は好きですか？
日本語の勉強は好きですか？
あとは何が好きですか？何をするのが好きですか？映画は好きですか？
映画は好きです。映画はとても好きです。
ね、君の名は。
君の名は。
ね、Your Name。君の名は。ね、日本のアニメ。アニメは好きですか？日本のアニメが好きですか？音楽。どうですか？音楽。
音楽どうですか？
好きですか？ケンドリック・ラマーは好きですか？何が好きですか？ヒップホップが好きですか？
ヒップホップが好きですか？
それとも好きじゃないですか？
好きじゃない。
ヒップホップは好きじゃないですか？何が好きですか？ね、ビヨンセ R&B 何が好きですか？
I will start. I will start.
何が好きかな皆さん。
It's in the plans. It's in the plans, bro. I will definitely have to start writing as well. It's definitely in the plans.
日本食ラーメンはいいですね。ラーメン美味しいですね。今日は何が好きか、ね日本語は好きですか？
好きですか？
それについて聞いてみました。ね、好きか好きじゃないか、ね、好きか
好きじゃないか好きじゃない、
好きではない、
好きではない。
まあ漢字はね、
まあ
漢字は少ないですよね。
少ないですよね。
僕は漢字はね。
Thought you knew how to write. No, I didn't. I didn't practice a lot of writing. I don't know why, but I definitely have to start writing kanji, bro. A lot of kanji. I will write every kanji every day 100 times. Each kanji I will write it 100 times. And then once I start like getting familiar with the kanji, I'll start writing sentences. And after I get familiar with writing sentences, I'll try to write a paragraph because by the end of the year, the goal is to write like at least a paragraph, 2 paragraphs, or a whole page. We'll see, bro. Writing is definitely in the plans.
まあ普通普通というのは好きでもないし嫌いでも
By the end of the year.
ノーマルっていうことですね。
So
はい。それでは
4 months. In the next 4 months, I have to be able to write. In the next 4 months, I have to be able to write.
明日チャオチャオまたね。チ
ャオチャオ。4 months for writing. I think that's good. I think I can do it, bro. I will get familiar with kanji, get familiar with like kanji plus sentences, kanji plus hiragana and katakana maybe as well. And yeah, slowly you progress. Bro, writing with handwriting is very important. It's very important. Not going to lie.
日本語コンテペイ。日本語学習者の皆さんをいつも応援するポッドキャスト。今日は音楽のジャンルについて。はい、今日も始まりました。日本語コンテペイ。
Just under 3 months you can master writing. I know how to write katakana and hiragana.
日本語学習者の皆さんをいつも応援するポッドキャスト。今日は音楽のジャンルについて。
音楽のジャンルについて。Today we discuss about 音楽のジャンルについて。
はい、今日も始まりました。日本語コンテッペイ for beginners。 皆さん元気ですか？僕は元気ですよ。
僕は元気ですよ。僕は元気です。
今日の天気は曇りです。
曇りです。Today's the weather is 曇り is cloudy.
ちょっとね、曇ってますね。
If you had a good roadmap on this, you could have already learned Japanese writing, speaking, reading. Bro, it's only 1 year, bro.
晴れてないですね。雨
How
も
can you write all of this in one? How can you learn all of this in 1 year?
降ってないね。晴れてない。雨も降ってない。でも曇りですね。曇り
ですね。
クラウディ、曇りですね。
クラウド。
今日曇ってます。今日は曇ってます。曇り。ちょっとマイクに手が当たってしまいましたね。コンコンってね。マイクにね。はい。今日は音楽のジャンルについて話したいと思います。音楽のジャンルというのは、どんな
音楽ジャンルというのはどんな
タイプの音楽、ね、まあ英語だとジャンルって言いますよね。でも日本語だとジャンルって言いますね。皆さんはどんな音楽が好きですか？例えば。私は音楽のジャンル、ヒップホップの音楽のジャンルは好きです。 ヒップホップとか。ね、ヒップホップが好きですか？それとも R&B。ね、R&B が好きですか？
R&B 好きですか？
あとはクラシック
も好きです。
っていうのはクラシカルミュージックのことですね。クラシカルミュージックのことをクラシック、日本語だとクラシックって言いますね。クラシックはモーツァルトとか、モーツァルトね、モーツァルト。
We're trying to do each. You can learn a lot in 1 year. Bro, I think I learned a lot, not going to lie. I learned a lot. Are you trying to do each thing by year? Are you trying to do each thing by year? No. I just do. I just make plans, a lot of plans, and whatever works, I do it.
いや、ベートーベン、ね、バッハ、ね、いろんな作曲家がいますね。コンポーザー、作曲家、コンポーザー。
作曲家。
あとはね、バッハ、モーツァルト、いやベートーベン、バッハ、いろんな作曲家がいますね。作曲家、コンポーザー、作曲家。あとはジャズ。ジャズですか？
ジャズが好きですか？
とか、ジョン・コルトレーン。いろいろなジャズミュージシャン
ありますね。
あとポップス。ポップスってどんなのがあるかな？
ポップス
ね。テイクザットとか。
テイクザット What's テイクザット？
テイク
ザット What's テイクザット？ラフリー
ザットとか。バックストリートボーイズとかね。ちょっとこうなんていうの？アイドル好きですか？皆さんね。あと日本の音楽は好きですか？日本の音楽ね。宇多田ヒカルとか、シンガーですね。宇多田ヒカル。
シンガー。あと何？ What's my シンガー。シンガー。Thought he said machine gun. Thought it was machine gun. Bongo in, hey yo, hello bro.
何があるかな？日本の音楽。僕が好きな日本の音楽。僕が好きなのは、ユニコーンとか好きですね。ユニコーン。スピッツとかね。いいと思いますよ。いいと思いますね。皆さんはどんな音楽が好きですか？僕はね、パンクが好きですね。ラモーンズとか、セックスピストルズとか。
What is it? セックスピストル？
セックス
Pistol. Sex pistol.
ピストル
What's that?
そういうパンクが好きですね。
パンクが好きですね。
でもヒップホップも好き
パンク with flat tire. I know パンク
ですよ。
でも、
ケンドリック・ラマーとかね。それではまた皆さん、チャオチャオまたね。
チャオまたね。Okay, done. But yeah, let's just continue with Tokiny Andy.
Good evening, everyone, and
Good
welcome to
evening.
the Quartet Lesson 2, Part 1.
I haven't even reached. You haven't even reached 200 days. How much do you know so far? Caps. How much did you learn so far? Like writing, reading, listening? What have you achieved? Speaking? How long have you been studying? Bro, 356 days. It's right there in the title.
One live stream. Tonight we're going to be covering the formal te form, teiku and teikuru, a different form of those. Shika nai, koto ni suru, and key expressions, or expressions with key. Pun is intended, 100% there. All right, these are the colors
When will you stop learning Japanese? When I start speaking Japanese, it's obvious.
we're going to be using in the Quartet
Thousand days.
lessons. We've got light blue for the
1000
grammar
days,
section
Sennichi.
points, and these are the
Sennichi
colors for any vocabulary that does not show up in Quartet yet, marked by their JLPT. Before we jump into everything and say hello to everyone, you know I've always got to do this first. This is and then if we jump out of grammar tech and Andy website and jump into the formal te form, the quote formal te form, and I'll get to why I'm doing quotation marks when I say that in a moment. So let's go back for a second. So the te form, you know, can be used to connect multiple sentences together. So you can take one sentence and connect it to another sentence using the te form like and. Now, this quote formal te form is only used for that, okay? You can't use this for te kudasai or te kureru or things like that, right? This is only the te form that is used as and. Now, Quartet makes it out to be the formal version of te. That's not quite right.
We do like 30 minutes until here and then we stop. And on Friday we continue the rest. Okay.
Right? You can actually use the te form end of this together, and I'll get to in some of the example sentences how you can do that and why you might do that.
Pretentious! Early stream today, bro. Early stream. I need to fix my sleep again, bro. This te is really common in novels, huh?
The grammar dictionary.
It's like, it's formal because I read it. I can't remember reading it, but I forgot. I completely forgot.
Dictionaries actually point out that.
So what kind of te? I'm trying to figure out what.
This is more of a written form. It's not so much formal. Like, you're not necessarily going to use this in formal situations. It's just you're more likely to see it in writing
in novels, as Pretentious said,
than you are in hear it in spoken conversation. So that's why some people seem to think of it like it is formal, and why Quartet presents it as formal. The thing is that a lot of the example sentences in Quartet and just around, they're actually sentences that end in short form. So I feel like that's going to be confusing to a lot of people, because they'll be like, well, why is this the formal te form, but it ends in a short form, which means that it's casual. And that's why, because it's not actually formal. It's a written form, generally speaking, although some people do use it in conversation from time to time. So just keep that in mind. It's mostly written, and it's the and version of the te form. That's the main thing I want to get across from this portion of the lesson. The main point of this section is to recognize it, because unless you plan on writing, if you plan on writing or doing the writing sections, you'll want to use this because it sounds nicer than the te form in writing. So yeah, this is to recognize in writing, but if you don't plan on writing, you don't need to necessarily learn how to use it. You just have to know how to recognize it. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to make it.
I don't understand your question. Can you explain levels of Japanese? Because I understand, or I don't understand. I'd understand the concept of levels expression. I don't understand the question, bro.
So first we have verbs that are in the te form. If we want to make the quote written te form, I'm gonna
probably used in stuff like business emails too, but I don't read those.
You'll want to use this because it sounds nicer than the te form in writing. So yeah, this is when you plan on writing. If you plan on writing,
like,
or doing the writing,
when you write a letter, for example, you use this te form.
You'll you'll want to use this because it sounds nicer than the te form
Nicer, huh?
in writing. So yeah, this is to recognize in writing. But if you don't plan on writing, you don't need to necessarily learn how to use it. You just have to know how to recognize
No,
it. So let's go ahead and take.
I am planning to write for sure. I'm planning to write my first like letter by the end of the
Take a
year.
look at how to make it. So first we have verbs that are in the te form. If we want to make the quote written te form, I'm going to call it the written te form from now instead of the formal te form. We just take the mas stem and that's it. It's just the mas stem. That is it. All you need is the mas stem. You just end the first sentence with that and it acts just like the te form. That means and. Then you have the next sentence after it and you end that however you see fit. If you were using te iru, so te ite, right? Te ite, a verb in the present continuous te form, you would change that to te ori.
Theory.
So, for example,
we've seen this in like one of the language, like teigo or this honorific stuff. I don't remember, but I've seen theory before.
teori
Or maybe I don't know.
is the same as tabeteite and something something, right? Now, the book throws in with these the naide version of this. So tabe naide something something, which means without doing this, I did this, right? And it combines these together, which I mean, I can see why they do it because naide is basically the negative te form.
Naide.
The difference here is that for this
Naide
form,
zuni.
this more formal form, this one's not necessarily written. This one is actually used in conversation quite frequently. So to make this more quote formal version of naide, we take the nai stem of a verb and add zuni. So for example, if we just use taberu, it's just tabezuni. So without eating, I did something. I feel like tabezuni emphasizes the fact that I didn't do this a little bit more than tabenaide. Perhaps it's a little bit more polite, but I feel like it's a little bit more emphasizing than naide. And it's in conversation all the time. This is not necessarily a written form. Shinaide is here because it's just slightly different than the regular naide one. If you were to make this zu form, you just say sezuni. So benkyou sezuni. Something something. So without studying.
So the verb like ori here is just ori. You replace the teite with ori, and here you replace naide with zuni. Nai stem and zuni, and here you replace the shinaide with sezuni. Okay.
Something something, right? Now e adjectives you can also use their te form.
Theory. Must form, just must form. Theory, the stem of nai, which is like shin or tabenaide, tabezuni basically, tabenai, tabezuni, and tabe or shinaide, which is like benkyou sezuni. Okay, understand.
Form to connect sentences or other adjectives together. So for example, tanoshikute, something something, right? Well, to use the quote the written form.
I don't think I knew about ori. No, maybe I confused it with some like verbs. I don't remember a lot of stuff. It's like it's all like blurred in my mind.
Of this or
I thought it was some kind of honorific stuff or something.
More formal form. You just cut the te. So it would be tanoshiku something something. And you'll see lots of examples in
theory. I don't know.
the example sentences that'll make a little bit more sense, I feel like. So let's go ahead and jump into the
There's a word for this lesson. I'm trying to find where I wrote it down.
Example sentences to sort of give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. Our first one is 私は学校に勤め、ユキはうちで働いています。So here you can see the te form, if we were to use the regular te form of this, would be 私は学校に勤めて、ユキは家で or うち
So wait, so this is like the mass form, the first one?
で働いています。I'm working at a school and Yuki works at home. So this is it's just and. And if you were to see this sentence, it would be most likely in writing. I'm probably not gonna say.
Wait, so which
form?
So this one is this mass form?
You just cut the te. So it would be tanoshiku something something. And you'll see lots of examples in the example sentences that'll make this idea of a bit more sense, I feel like. So let's go ahead and jump into the examples. 私は学校に勤め、ユキはうちで働いています。So here you can see the te form, if we were to use the regular te form of this, would be 私は学校に勤めて。
So we just cut the te. Easy.
ユキは家で or うちで働いています。I'm working at a school and Yuki works at home. So this is just it's just and. And if you were to see this sentence,
no Greek. What is km? What does km means? Km means kilometers.
It would be most likely in writing. I'm probably not gonna say.
It's called formal conjunctive. Renyoke. So like conjugate. Wait, conjunctive. Conjunctive. Does conjunctive means conjugation? Conjunctive relating to forming a connection or combination. Conjunctive. Forming connection or combination. Okay. Formal conjunctive. Okay.
This, even in a formal situation. I'd probably say, 私は学校に勤めて、ユキはうちで働いています。That's probably what I would say. I wouldn't shorten to this. It's more of a written form. 材料を混ぜ、オーブンを100度に。
混ぜ is 混ぜ is 混ぜずに no ずに I don't know what 混ぜ is
オーブンを It's more of a で、ユキはうちで働いています。That's probably what I would say. I wouldn't shorten to this. It's more of a
What does KM name means in the Japanese? Doesn't mean anything, bro. It's just K and M.
Written form. 材料を混ぜ、オーブンを100度に設定して混ぜた材料を入れます。Mix the ingredients, set the oven to 100 degrees, and then put in the ingredients.
So maze, you just remove the te form.
Mixed. Now, here we've used this quote written form as well as the.
Then what? He doesn't want to say his name, bro. Why do you want to know his name?
Te form. You can do this. This is actually something that will happen from time to time. And the grammar dictionary sort of explains this as if you're giving steps in a process in which one step needs to be finished first before the next step can happen, you need to use the regular te form. Now, the reason I don't need to use the regular te form for the first part, 材料を混ぜ、オーブンを100度に設定して is because I don't necessarily need to mix the ingredients before I turn the oven on. Turning the oven on is not dependent upon me mixing ingredients. So that doesn't matter. But if the next step is dependent on the step before, apparently you're supposed to use the te form instead of this sort of written form. Whether or not people actually follow that rule all the time in real life, I'm sure they don't. I'm sure people make mistakes with this all the time. On ingredients, like on recipes, most of the time it's the short form. I'm not sure if they are always combined this way, if the next step is dependent on the previous one. So like putting the stuff in the oven is dependent on setting the oven to 100 degrees first. So here we have to use.
So, 材料を混ぜ mix the ingredients. オーブンを100度に設定して混ぜた材料を入れます。Put the, sorry, excuse me, I apologize, and then put the mixed that you mixed, the ingredients that you mixed.
The te form because the next one is dependent. Whether or not in the recipe they would actually follow that grammatical rule, I don't know. But in the dictionary, it points it out that way. Quartet doesn't mention this. I just thought I'd mention it to you. You'll see these combined sometimes, okay? But they mean the same thing, right? 混ぜて、オーブンを100度に設定して、混ぜた材料を入れます。That would be the same. So you could use just the te form in both of them, or you could probably just change this to 設定し、混ぜた材料を入れます would probably be okay, but someone might be picky about it if it was in your writing. All right, here we have a te iru. So te ite is what would have been there in a regular conversation.
ている becomes ており。
Form. Let's check the sentence. 友達は外国に住んでおり、最近あんまり話す機会がありません。友達は外国に住んでおり。The regular form of this would be 友達は外国に住んでいて、最近あんまり話す機会。
友達は外国に住んでおり、最近あんまり話す機会がありません。
Kikai is opportunity, so I don't have many opportunities to speak with them recently. My friend is living abroad and we don't have many opportunities to speak recently. We have two sentences here with the zu form. 食べずに仕事に行きました. I went to work without eating. 食べずに Now, the regular form of this would be 食べないで仕事に行きました. I went to work without eating. This one is not necessarily written form. I would probably say this one. Honestly, more than 食べないで仕事に行きました. I would prefer to say 食べずに
Zuni, I remember reading it in quartet. I remember it.
仕事に行きました. Even in conversation, I like using zuni actually quite a bit, especially when I want to emphasize the fact that I didn't do that thing.
食べずに仕事に行きました.
The part that I did do, like 食べずに仕事に行きました, puts the emphasis way onto 食べる, the fact that I didn't eat, as opposed to the emphasis being.
I remember reading it in Genki Zuni.
Same with the next sentence. 勉強せずにテストを受けた. So yeah, the zu comes after the nai stem of a verb. So for example, if it was a regular godan verb, let's think of one. Sunde is a godan verb. So sumu, suma nai de. So sumazu ni is how you would make this for that. Sumazu ni.
Nonde. Nondanai or nondanai, nondas suzu, nondazuni.
勉強せずにする becomes せずに勉強せずにテストを受けた. I took the test without studying. And of course, the regular version of this
勉強せずにテストを受けた. Took the test without studying.
would have been 勉強しないでテストを受けた.
Yeah, okay. Sezuni and Zuni are easier. But even the other ones, you don't do anything actually. You just, like, Teiru becomes Deori, and Te form, you just don't add anything. You just remove the Te. It's just the mass form, basically. That's what it says here. The mass stem. So you remove the Te, and you just stay with the mass stem. Okay. Teiru, Teite, this is what confused me. Teite is Teiru, basically. Teiru becomes Teori. And Naide is nice. Bro, very easy. I was so confused in the beginning. So, Nai stem and Zuni. Shinaide, you just remove the Shinaide and add Sezuni. Bro, very easy. And E adjectives, you just cut the Te. It's the same with the verb. Bro, very easy. Very simple and easy.
You arrived at the shop, so that the part that I did do, like 食べずに仕事に行きました.
Very easy. When I first saw it, it was confusing, but now I remember. I read it. I definitely read it in quartet. No, I read it 100%. But I didn't remember, but now I remember. Okay, very easy.
And of course, the regular version of this would have been 勉強
I was kind of confused. In the beginning.
Ando san ga getting more benkyo.
Nomazuni, there it is. Nomazuni, bro. Very easy. I can't believe it, bro. Like, there is this was another good video about the subject. This guy doesn't have a lot of videos, but I really like this teaching style. Connecting Te form versus mass form.
Hey everyone, Brian from Human
Okay, Satori Reader, huh?
Japanese and Satori Reader here. Have you ever encountered a Japanese sentence made up of two parts where the first part ended...
Bro, I'll keep it. I'll follow his channel, bro. I've never seen him before. So, Satori Reader. He doesn't have a lot, huh? He doesn't have a lot. But, okay. I trust you, bro. Pretentious. If you say his teaching style is good, I'll definitely check him out, bro. Okay. I'll keep it in mind. Satori Reader, huh? Wait, did I like the video? Okay. Okay, done, bro. Pretentious. It's simple, pretentious. It's actually turned out to be so simple.
Adjective down here and some other stuff.
Yeah,
so
and
I'll get
doesn't
into more
need a lot,
examples
bro.
in the
I feel like grammar points, they are simple to understand in Japanese. They're simple to understand, but there's just so many things. That's the hard part, and the hardest part either also is that the conjugation just keep going. There is no stop. There is no end to it. They are easy to understand, easy to conjugate, but there is just so many, and it's hard to remember everything. I think this is the problem with Japanese. But when you do it, it's actually very easy.
dialogue. Let's go ahead and see what happens last week.
The book number 1 from quarter book number 1 was actually very easy. The grammar points were very easy to understand. I thought I was afraid in the beginning, but when I finished it, I didn't believe it's ended because I didn't have a hard time to understand. For me, Genki was much harder to understand because it was in the beginning. But now I feel like I can understand any grammar point.
Ando-san got mad at Andy
So
because he
that's why I'm not going to focus a lot on grammar points from now on, just on like immersion, just immersive stuff, immersion, speaking, listening, kanji, a lot of kanji, and grammar points. I'm just going to learn them along the way. I'm not going to focus a lot, just a few days a week.
he told Yuki that he was angry at him.
The past year, I was focusing a lot on grammar. But I think now I reached a level, I don't need any more grammar points. I'm not going to use everything.
Or something. I don't know.
I hated Genki, bro. Bro, it's because it was the beginning, bro. You hated Genki, I think, because it was just in the beginning. Now, I feel like if I go back to Genki, bro, it will be so easy. I can finish Genki now. I can finish Genki in a week, bro. It took me a few months to finish Genki in the beginning, but now it became easy.
Yuki went out drinking with Ando-san.
Not easy, but my brain reached a mature level of understanding Japanese. So it feels good.
Instead of Andy, and Andy wasn't invited. That's what happened. Okay. Nomazu ni
Ban me for being rude. No, bro, I will not ban. You are not rude and impolite, bro. You are very good. Caps. You are very polite.
kaita.
Timikage.
なんで
Yeah, bro.
安藤さんは
Caps, what do you like? Timikage or Timimori? Timikage or Timimori? Which one do you like more?
もう酔っ払っ
I kind of feel Timimori is easier on the tongue, but Timikage is cooler.
てたんだよ。店に着いたら
Tokiny, how is it going, bro? Sensei Big.
ってことうん。そ
Tokiny
うか
TVs.
まあ
Bro,
彼は
Sensei Big.
割とお金に気をつけているから飲みに行く前に
Oh, okay, let's listen to
Andy
it again.
because in we've got an adjective 受けた
If I find a grammar I don't know yet, I'd rather look it up myself than learn it from a grammar book, huh?
Okay, I've got a couple more.
Yeah, bro, I think that's what I'm going to do from now on as well. I'm not going to learn new grammar points. I don't know if I'm going to do quartet 2. Maybe I do quartet 2 and then stop. But I'm going to do quartet 2 later on. I'll finish with N3. And I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to do it every day. And I will follow your approach. Bongo in. I think that's what I'm going to do as well. Just learn the grammar points along the way.
More examples. We've got an adjective down here and some other stuff, so I'll get into more examples in the dialogue. Let's go ahead and see what happens last week.
Nomazuni.
Ando-san got mad at Andy because he told Yuki
Nomazuni kaita.
that he was angry at him or something. I don't know. Yuki went out drinking with Ando-san instead of Andy, and Andy wasn't invited. That's what happened. Okay.
Nomazuni kaita.
え
え
なんで
安藤さんは
もう酔っ払ってたんだよ。店に着いたらってこと？うん、そうか。まあ、彼は割とお金に気をつけているから、飲みに行く前にちょっと飲むんだよ。お金を貯金し、お酒を楽しく、毎日最高が彼のスローガンらしいよ。なんか素敵に聞こえるけど、なんかおかしい。はい、let's read that at full speed. 飲まずに書いた。なんで？安藤さんはもう酔っ払ってたんだよ。店に着いたらってこと？うん、そうか。まあ、彼は割とお金に気をつけているから、飲みに行く前にちょっと飲むんだよ。お金を貯金し、お酒を楽しく、毎日最高が彼のスローガンらしいよ。なんか素敵。
楽しく for example, you just remove the te form. 楽しくて just remove the te and it becomes the formal conjunctive. 貯金し again 貯金して move the te.
聞こえるけど、なんかおかしい。Let's go with the English. We've got
飲まずに帰った。I went home
without drinking. This is just the zoo form, right? 飲む becomes 飲ま. That's the nai form. 飲まない. You don't have the nai there. 飲まずに帰った。I went home without drinking. なんで？
なんで？
Why? 安藤さんはもう酔っ払ってたんだよ。酔っ払う is to be intoxicated, drunk. 安藤さんはもう酔っ払ってたんだよ。Ando-san was already drunk, is why. So that is why is the da, right? This, the explanation, this. 店に着いたらってこと？
Timimori sounds cute. Timikage sounds more hard, huh? Yeah, I think Timikage is better. I don't know, bro. I don't know. When will you switch to speaking writing?
I mean, when you arrived at the shop, so step that tara is when you arrived at the shop. 店に着いたらってこと？つく means
Timimori is like Togomori. Do you know Togomori? Togomori was one of my favorite characters, not going to lie. Togomori. Yeah, Timimori. Yeah, it was a funny character. So I don't know. Timikage or Timimori. Or something else. Togomori, bro. I love the name Togomori. It stuck with me for years. So maybe Timimori. Maybe I'll go with Timimori. What does Togomori even mean though? Togomori. What does Togomori mean? Togomori. Okay. Is there kanji for Togomori? Togomori. There is in Japanese. They don't know it. Togomori. I don't know. But anyways, let's just continue.
Yeah. All right, this is a very long sentence. Let's go through it. そうか, I see. まあ, well, 彼は割と
I'm watching my favorite Ghibli movie in Japanese. They say instead of hi. Yeah. Like is a shorter one. Which one's your favorite?
お金に気をつけて
Instead of hi, bro, is the casual form. Instead of yes.
いる You right? This the explanation. Intoxicated, drunk. 安藤さんはもう酔っ払ってたんだよ。安藤さん was already drunk. Is why. So that is why is the da, right? This the explanation. This. 店に着いたらってこと？ You mean when you arrived at the shop? So that tara is when you arrived at the shop. 店に着いたらってこと？着く means to arrive at something, by the way. Yeah. All right, this is a very long sentence. Let's go through it.
Yeah.
そうか。I
そうか。
see. まあ、well. 彼は
彼は
割とお金をお金に気をつけている。So, 気をつけている is something we're going to go over later in the lesson. It's section 5, so stick around for that if you're interested to learn more about it. But it means to be careful of. In this case, he's being careful of money. Warito means more than you would expect. I probably should have colored this some color. JLPT N2. Okay, so that should have been JLPT N2 color, an orange color, but don't worry about that. Warito means more than you would expect.
Bro, I want to add them to the list this week. I want to add these movies to the list. But I haven't even watched what I have.
But it means it's a very useful little word. More than you would expect. He's careful about money. 気をつけている. He's being careful about money. So, から飲みに行く前に before going to drink ちょっと飲むんだよ explanation he drinks a little. Now, this is a quotation. お金を貯金し
お酒を
save money
楽しく
and お酒を楽しく enjoy alcohol
毎日
最高 every day is awesome
彼の
スローガンらしいよ。
スローガンらしいよ。
slogan, apparently. So that apparently,
So
or
he actually
I
is
hear,
careful about
I hear that
money
save money,
more
enjoy alcohol every day is awesome is his slogan. So let's read that whole thing. I see, well, he actually is careful about money more than you would expect. So before he goes drinking, he drinks a bit, you know? I hear that save money, enjoy alcohol every day is awesome is his slogan. Very Anbala-san. So because it's like a slogan, so if you
Isn't it better
if you were
to
just
speak,
saying
to
something,
switch,
like if you were to say this out loud,
to switch to speaking writing? Otherwise, you won't memorize things you learned. When did you plan to stream? On speaking, bro. Wait, what? Bro, we will switch, bro. Why are you rush? Why
what you
are you
would
in a
probably
rush?
say is let's go ahead and
Caps, slowly, bro. Take it step by step. Why are you rushing? Slowly.
jump back up
You
to that
quickly. 日本語の勉強する。
お金を貯金してお酒を楽し
Otherwise, you won't memorize things that you learned. Bro, we will memorize slowly, bro. Don't worry, I have strong memory.
楽しんで
楽しんで
毎日最高楽しんで
Save money,
you'd probably
enjoy
use the verb 楽しんで but because it's a slogan, so a slogan in Japanese is the same as slogan in English, right? You don't have a perfect sentence necessarily for a slogan. You have a catchphrase or something that is sort of stylized. So 楽しく
楽しく
is more stylized than 楽しんで, right? So sure, you could do that, but this is a bit more stylized, a bit more slogan-like. ね、お金を貯金し、お酒を楽しく、毎日最高。It sounds dramatic, stylized. That's all. Kakikukeko is more, Yuki was mentioning how in Japanese it gives a better impression than mamimumemo. So generally,
Okay, so the next one is tekuru.
has begun to with tekuru.
Tekuru
and will
or
begin to with
I know
teiku.
it very
Now,
well. I know
we
it
already
very well.
covered teiku
See
and
so many
tekuru
examples.
a long time ago, I believe in Genki 1. And teiku
Has begun,
meant
is
to
beginning.
go and do something, and tekuru meant to
Tekuru.
come and do something, right? Or to go and then come back, like itekuru.
Wait, yeah. Has
Kuru
begun.
means to go and come back, and teiku means to go and do that thing. This is a different grammar point. This is something completely different. Totally different. Forget about that one for now. And let's talk about this one. So, tekuru means has begun to do something in the past up until now. So, in the past, began to do something and is still doing it up until now. Or is beginning to, do something starting in the past up until now.
Has begun.
Generally, you're going to be using verbs that imply change. Quartet has a few examples here. We've got futoru, which means to gain weight. Yaseru, which means to lose weight. Fueru, which means to increase. Heru, which means to decrease. Naru, which means to become. And nareru, which means to get used to. There's more, but those are just some examples of verbs that imply change already. Those are the ones that are generally going to be used with te kuru. So for example, futotte kita. So by that I mean verbs that imply change within the verb. So like futoru and yaseru. Futoru means to gain weight. Yaseru means to lose weight. So within the verb, there's implied change, right? Fueru means to increase, or fuyasu means the transitive version of increase, to increase something. Heru means to decrease, and the transitive version, so the one that you do, is herasu, to decrease something.
My
so those
neighbor,
imply a change of some sort, right? Herasu means a change from having a lot to a little.
Bro.
So that implies change. Whereas tabe...
Bro, Bongoin, I've seen this image so many times, bro. I want to watch it. I've seen this, like, this image of this creature here so many times.
Heru is just a straight action. There's no change involved. You're eating. So that's the difference. A verb that implies change, one of those. Another point here is that tekuru is usually in the past tense because you began to do something in the past. So futotte kita means that I began to gain weight. Futotte kita.
Already began.
So from the past up until now, I began to gain weight.
If it was iku,
Teiku
will begin.
implies that you will begin to do something or are beginning to do something now, right? Also with change verbs. So, yasete iku means I'm going to lose weight.
So now, this is now. Futette kita, I has begun until now to gain fat. Or to gain, to become fat. Futette iku, I will begin. From now, I will begin to the future to gain fat. I will begin. If I eat too much now, I will begin to gain fat. But futette kita, I already has begun, like from the past, from 1 month ago until now, I already has begun to gain fat. This is the now. So before the now, futette kita, before the now until now, and futette iku, from now to the future. Okay, yeah.
Or
I understand the concept of kuru and iku.
Will begin to lose weight from now into the future. This is an ongoing thing that I'm going to be doing.
I understand.
The non-change verbs, you can use verbs that don't imply change, but you're going to be using them with a grammar point from last time, which is yo ni naru, and you change that to tekuru. So yo ni natte kuru. We'll show some examples later, but for example, you might use the potential form here. Tabereru you ni natte kuru, or tabereru you ni natte kita. So for example, I never was able to eat natto. I wasn't able to eat natto for my first 2 years in Japan, and then I became able to eat it over time. That's when you would use teikuru. But taberu or tabereru does not imply change. So you can't really say taberete kita. It doesn't really work. You need to say tabereru, so the ru version of it, tabereru you ni natte kita. You ni naru means to become generally able to do, if you're using it with the potential form. Became able to do something. Tekuru. So I became able to eat natto over time from in the past.
Because
natto,
it's in the past.
Yoni.
Because now and he's talking about the 2 years that he has been able to eat. This is the now. He's talking about the 2 years that was able to eat natto over time.
And kuru is generally going to be the past tense. If I want to say I'm going to become able to eat natto o tabereru you ni natte iku. I'm going to become able to eat natto in the future, starting now. Here on out, I'm going to go and do this. Dekiru you ni natta means you became able to do it, but it's a point in time when you became able to do it. I became able to do it here. Whereas natte kita implies that you started becoming able to do something, perhaps, if you're using dekiru you ni natte kita. You started becoming able to do something up until now, and maybe now you can do it. You might not actually be able to do the thing yet. You're still working on it, but dekiru you ni natte kita. I've started to become able to do something, is what that means. Versus, dekiru you ni natta means I became able to do it. So there's a big difference. It's not big. It's sort of subtle, I guess. But yeah, dekiru you ni natta. You became able to do it. You can do it now because you became able to do it. Dekiru you ni natte kita means over time you've been slowly becoming able to do something. Starting at some point in time doesn't really matter when. And maybe now you can do it. but it's emphasizing sort of that journey from not being able to do it to becoming able to do it. And now maybe you're not perfect at it yet, but you can kind of do it. You've become able to do it a bit. Let's look at some example sentences. It's not that bad. And it's also very, very, very common. So it's one you're going to want to work on a bit. All right. 日が短くなってきた. The days have begun to get short, haven't they? 日が短くなってきたね. Literally, this means the
日が短くなってきたね. The days have begun to get short. The sun has become shorter, hasn't it? Or the days.
sun has begun to become short, hasn't it? Now this is sort of, it's not a set phrase, but 日が短くなる. It sounds like the sun has become short. But that's just how people say that the days are becoming shorter. Okay? 日が短くなる.
Everyone is noticing that the days have become shorter. When was this published? 4 years ago. Everyone is noticing that the days are becoming shorter, bro. That's crazy. There is no time in the day, bro. Please, when will you be recording your stay in Japan? I will need your reaction video to natto. Bro, that would be a dream, bro. I definitely will eat natto, bro.
Means days become shorter.
Natto stream when, bro.
To say kita, right?
Bro, I'm seriously thinking this year, bro. Until, like, by next summer, I think by next summer, I will be able to speak Japanese, not going to lie. By next summer, I will definitely be able to speak, like have a conversation. And maybe, bro, we go learn, like, stream learning there. We, like, instead of sitting in this chair, we go learn there.
The days have
speak
begun
with
to
people.
get shorter. Oh, like,
speak with people and tell them, like, go in the street and tell them, 何を見てる?
Today, it's just getting shorter and
but
shorter.
In Japanese, what are you looking at? But in Japanese, bro.
Over time. If you were to cut off
fun,
the kita
it would be fun.
and say, 日が短くなった.
Bro.
It would mean that today, the day became short. The kita means the days have begun to get short. So that have begun is where the kuru, the come.
But the days are short, bro. The days are short. We don't have much time in a 24 hours. The 24 hours, like 50 years ago, was a normal 24 hours. But now, today, in this day and age, a 24 hours is like 12 hours. There is no time.
Comes in. So, 日が短くなっ
It's
て
crazy.
きた.
Everyone is noticing that. It's not something, it's not a conspiracy theory. Everyone is noticing what's going on.
Kita has begun to get
lives there.
shorter. So it's a very important part of the sentence. 最近ちょっとだけ痩せてきた. Recently, I've come to lose just a little weight. So you could also translate that kita as
最近ちょっとだけ痩せてきた. Recently, I've come to lose a little bit of weight.
come to do something, right? Recently, I've come to lose a little weight. You could also translate this, of course, as recently, I've begun to lose a little weight. So you don't just suddenly lose weight, right? It happens over time. So at some point in time, I started doing something that made me start losing weight, or from some point in time, I wasn't losing weight, and then I started losing weight, and I've been losing weight from that point up until now, this point in time. Yes.
When you grow older, the perception of time changes. You're becoming a grandpa to, bro. It's crazy, man.
Okay, next one is
I never felt this way, bro. I never felt this way.
Begin to increase opportunities. This is very similar to te hajimeru, to begin to do something. Very similar to that.
I don't want to become grandpa. I don't want to become grandpa.
I did a video on te hajimeru a long time ago, but I think it's still pretty good. So if you want to get an idea of what te haji begin to, yasete kita. Okay, next.
最近ちょっとだけ痩せてきた. Recently, I've come to lose just a little
some
weight.
point in time, I wasn't losing weight, and then I started losing weight, and I've been losing weight from that point up until now, this point in time. Yasete kita. Okay, next one is te iku. So begin to increase opportunities. This is very similar to te hajimeru, to begin to do something. Very similar to that. This
But
one, te iku.
it's a bit
I did a
different,
video on te hajimeru a long time ago, but I think it's still pretty good. So if you want to get an idea of how that is used, you can go ahead and check that video out. Maybe I'll put a link up in the description or over in the corner. One I put out the stream cut.
日本語を
But anyway,
話
this is
す
very similar to that.
機会
日本
を
語を
日本
話す
語を
機会
話す
を
機会を
増やして
増
いき
やしていき
たいよ。
たいよ。
増や
Not
す
to begin
so
to increase
増える
opportunities to speak Japanese.
is one of the ones that Quartet mentions, and it's an intransitive verb, which means to increase. So you don't
増やしてき
act on anything; it just
Take
is the
time.
verb to increase. 増やす is a transitive verb that means I will make something increase. So it's a transitive verb, right? You do something. 増やしていきたい means I want to increase something.
日本語を話す聞きたい。日本語を話す機会を増やしていきたいよ。I did 増やし。I did it in Duolingo 2 days ago. 増やし to increase. 日本語を話す機会を増やしていきたいよ。I want to begin to increase my opportunities to speak Japanese.
I want to
日本語を
begin
話す機
to
会
increase something. 増やしていく means begin to increase something. So I'm not going to suddenly increase my opportunities right now or even right
Slowly,
tomorrow.
slowly.
I'm going to start increasing them over time.
That's what I'm doing as well. 私も日本語を話す機会を増やしていきたいよ。So slowly we speak Wednesday and weekends. Maybe in 2 months we speak more. By the end of the year we speak every day. By the summer we speak every day and maybe in real life as well.
Time from now. So 日本語を話す機会. That's what I'm going to be increasing over time. 日本語を話す機会. Opportunities to speak Japanese を増やしていく. Begin to increase. But in this case, I'm using the Thai want to. 増やしていきたいよ. I want to begin to increase opportunities to speak Japanese, you know? 日本はゆっくり変わっていくと思う.
I think that Japan will
I think
begin
that
to
Japan
change.
will begin to change slowly. ゆっくり. Right?
日
Japan's
本はゆっくり変わっていくと思う. Think that Japan will begin to change slowly from now until it's not changed now, but will begin in the future. From now until the future, slowly, step by step. And this one, 日本語を話す機会を増やしていきたいよ. From today, I'm not speaking Japanese, but from today, from this week, I want to increase my opportunities of speaking Japanese.
It's not going to change overnight. It didn't change today necessarily. 変わった. If you were to just say 変わった, it would mean that it changed.
But
it happened at some point. I don't know when, but it has changed. If you want to say it's going to begin to change, 変わっていく. If it began to change in the past, man, you've changed. You've begun changing. 変わってき
speaking
た.
Japanese in Discord.
They
Free
changed
tutor.
over
Bro,
time from
free
the past
tutor.
to
We
now.
find free tutors. I cannot believe it. We found senseis. 日本語の先生です.
All right. A little bit weird
Fun fact,
when I
humans
actually say it all out in English. I understand it
still
sounds a
have
little bit
tails.
weird, but you're going to hear this so much that you'll get used to it, I promise. Let's go ahead and jump into the dialogue. I'll read it slowly one time, then at full speed, and I'll get to the English translations, and then we'll do question time. まだ一緒に飲むこ
By the time you speak in Japanese and Chinese, your grandkids, bro, your grandkids will be going to school, bro. No, I told you I will speak by next summer.
とにする
まだ一緒
あんま
に
りいい
飲む
アイ
ことに
デア
する
じゃないって思ってきた。そうだね。
そう
でも
だね
飲めるようになっていきたいでしょ。まあ、もっと飲めるようになりたいけど、やめようかな。俺は安藤さんと飲まなくなったら仕事でもっと集中できるようになってきたからもうお酒を完全にやめようかな。いいな。今週仕事はダメだったな。はい、full speed。 まだ一緒に飲むことにするあんまりいいアイディアじゃないって思ってきた。そうだね。でも、飲めるようになっていきたいでしょ。まあ、もっと飲めるようになりたいけど、やめようかな。俺は安藤さんと飲まなくなったら、仕事でもっと集中できるようになってきたから、もうお酒を完全にやめようかな。いいな。今週仕事はダメだったな。Let's go with the English translation. まだ一緒に飲むことにする Are you going to decide to drink with him still? Now we covered ことにする back in Genki 2, but Quartet is actually covering this again to contrast
Wanna raise? Of course, bro.
にする
Caps, I'm going to raise anyone in here, bro. I'm going to speak Japanese faster than anyone, bro. Caps, I'm going to speak Japanese faster than you. By next summer, I will speak Japanese.
We covered in the last lesson. So we'll go over that a little bit later in the lesson.
I'll beat you, bro.
I'll
beat the shit out of you, Caps.
あんまりいいアイディアじゃないって思ってきた。I have begun to think I have
あまりいいアイディアじゃないって思ってきた。I've begun to think that's not such a good idea. あまりいいアイディアじゃないって思ってた。Idea is a Greek word.
I've begun to think that it's not such a good idea.
I'm ready for that, bro.
The same situation that you might...
Do you speak Japanese? How much Japanese do you know? Your method versus my method, of course.
Say, I've begun to think such and such a thing. In English, bro. You're going to use omotekita.
Timmy's, I'll tell you, you're definitely going to speak faster than me. You know my plan. Bro. Bro, I can't pull you with me, bro. I can drag you with me to speak together.
In Japanese. I've begun to think that it's not such a good idea.
I will be a good sportsman, bro. Sensei Vic, I will be a good sportsman. Good sportsmanship. And take you with me with my shoulders and we go to the finish line.
じゃないって思ってきた. That's the important thing. This is just like the English began to think or began to do something. So those are the situations you're going to use it in. そうだね. Fair enough. でも飲めるようになっていきたいでしょ? But you want to start to become able to drink, right?
飲めるようになっていきたいでしょ?
もっと飲めるようになりたいけど、やめようかな. Well, I want to become able to drink more. 飲めるようになりたいけど. But maybe I'll quit. So here we're using ていく. ようになっていきたい. You want to become able to start to become able to drink more, right? So you're not going to be able to become able to drink more overnight. It's not something that happens once. You have to practice, right? Just like anything else. So 飲めるようになっていきたい. It's going to take time and you need to start soon. You haven't started yet. ていく is what you're going to use there. Long sentence here. 俺は安藤さんと飲まなくなったら When I stop drinking with 安藤さん仕事でもっと集中できるようになってきたから I began to become able to focus more at work から So お酒を完全にやめようかな I'm thinking I may completely quit alcohol いいな Lucky 今週仕事はダメだったな This week work sucked Question time.
Okay, done.
健康のためにやってきたことを教えてください。健康のためにやってきたこと or
健康 What does 健康 mean? Healthy. In order to be healthy, やってきたことを教えてください。Teach me to be healthy, to start or
できたことを教えてください。Example 健康のために週に3回筋トレをやってきた。
What are the things you did to become more helpful? 健康のために週に3回筋トレをやってきた。
So this example of
to go to the gym?
What I want you to tell me says For the purpose of my health, 3 times a week, I've begun to, or yeah, I have begun to
Go to the gym.
lift weights 3 times
Lift
a week.
weights, lift weights.
I have
Kintoru. Kintoru to lift weights.
begun to lift weights 3 times a week. That's the important part. Have begun. Yeah. So 健康のためにやってきた。
健康のために毎日散歩をやってきた。For the purpose of my health, I've begun to walk every day.
ことを教えてください. So I'm going to
speak
give you the
Japanese
English for this
that I
one just in
have
case
read.
people are confused. For the purpose of your health, what is something that
How many
you've begun
kanjis
to
you
do,
know?
that you began to do in the past up until now? So something you've been doing, basically. Please let us know.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
And we finished the half of the video, and the other half we finish it the Friday. I can speak Japanese that I have read. How many kanjis you know? How many kanjis do you know? But anyways, bro, Sensei Vic, Pretentious Bongoin, thank you very much for being here, bro, supporting. Bro, gives me so much motivation, not going to lie. Mata ashita. Let's end it here. And of course, continue tomorrow. Mata ashita. 10 plus kanjis, bro. Bro, let's do it, bro. Caps. Your method against my method and see who is going to speak faster Japanese. Mata ashita. And yeah, sayonara, sayonara. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. 日本語で進歩する。